Welcome to the Child Growth and Development section of our onboarding process for our staff orientation here at the Oak School. Our program philosophy is built on play. We believe that play plays a central role in the Reggio Emilia inspired educational philosophy. In this approach, play is seen as a powerful vehicle for children's learning and development. Here are some key aspects of how play is integrated into this philosophy. Child centered learning. Reggio inspired educators believe that children have their own ideas, interests, and questions. Play is a way for children to explore these concepts, and it guides the direction of their learning. Expression and communication. Play is viewed as a language for children. It allows them to express themselves, their thoughts, and their feelings. It encourages communication, collaboration, and social interaction among peers. Problem solving. Through play, children can encounter challenges and problems which stimulate their problem solving skills. This process of experimentation and discovery is highly valued in the Reggio approach. Play. We believe that play should be three things. One, child initiated. Children identify the items that they desire to use in play. Number two, child directed. Children should direct and lead the play. They should identify which direction they want their play to go in. And number three, teacher supported. As adults and educators in the Reggio Inspired program, you should observe or join in the play. However, the play should be child led. Children should be able to identify what it is that they want to do and how they want to play. Exploration and discovery. Play provides opportunities for children to explore their creativity, whether it's through art, dramatic play, or imaginative scenarios. Children can engage in creative thinking and exploration. The next section is developmentally appropriate practices. Practices should be age appropriate. When in a classroom, be mindful of the developmental milestones of the children in which you work with. For 1, 2, 3, and 4 year olds, we want to be mindful that we're using a predictable sequence of stages as a guideline. These developmental milestones identify what it is that a child should be able to do by the end of the school year. Within our program, we use these milestones to identify invitations to learn as well as provocations. Number two, practices should be individually appropriate. Make sure that you're taking into consideration not only the ages of the students that you're working with, but their unique personalities, learning styles, and family background. Each child learns differently. While some children may be visual learners, others are kinesthetic learners, and others are auditory learners. You want to be mindful of planning invitations to learn and provocations that are going to meet the learning styles of all children enrolled in your classroom. Number three, observing and evaluating each child to identify their learning styles, their personalities, their strengths, and their areas that are in need of development. As an educator in a Reggio inspired program, we want to make sure that we're observing and documenting on a daily basis. In each classroom, we expect educators to take observations while children are engaged in play, identify what it is that they're interested in, and how they're using materials within the learning environment. DAP, invitations to learn, and provocations should be concrete, based on real information, using real materials. They should be relevant. Any of the topics for invitations to learn and provocations should be based on things that children are interested in. And it should be accepting of all children. Remember that every child learns differently. Every child has different interests. We want to make sure that within our program, DAP invitations to learn and provocations also encourage the children, encourage them to participate, encourage them to learn, encourages them to discover, and encourages them to develop that love for learning. Familiarize yourself with children's personnel files. Our goal is that you take the time to get to know each student in your classroom. The first thing that we ask that you do is locate files. In the classroom cabinet, there's a clear container. In this container, there is a file folder for each student. Within this file folder, you'll find a couple of forms. One is the authorization to dispense external preparations. This form identifies topical ointments and preparations that are authorized for use for each student in your classroom. The family questionnaire. This questionnaire includes information about the student and is provided by each family upon enrollment. And Brightwheel. Click on the student's name and then click on the info icon. Here, you'll be provided with the student's birthday, medications that may be administered, allergies, photo preferences for posting on social media and used for advertising, and their contract hours. Each student enrolled in our program has a maximum number of hours. This tells you the time that students should be dropped off to ensure that they're not dropped off earlier than they're supposed to be dropped off, and it identifies the time that students should be picked up to ensure that they're not being picked up later than their contract hours. If you find that a child is in your program later than the hours that are on the contracted Brightwell app, please send a message indicating late pickup. If you find that a child is being dropped off earlier than their contracted hours, please let the parent know at drop off, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to accept Johnny right now. He's not permitted to attend until 8 a.m. If there's any questions or concerns, please refer that individual, the parent or the guardian, to the director. Primary caregiving. Each classroom has a specific child to teacher ratio. This ratio is based on allowing us to provide high quality care for each child in our care. We want to make sure that one teacher is not overburdened by providing care to the entire classroom. Therefore, we have a basic teacher ratio that allows every teacher in the classroom to provide primary caregiving tasks. This includes diapering, potty training, and classroom observations. Each day, students should be assigned to a specific caregiver. For example, if you're working in the Red Oak classroom and your ratio is 2 to 10, one teacher should be primarily responsible for caring for 5 of the students and providing documentation of their potty training, classroom observations, incidents, etc., and meals. The number of students assigned should be half of the number of students in attendance for the day. We have concluded the child growth and development portion of our onboarding staff orientation. Please take a moment to initial and date this section and submit it to your director. Thank you.